Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss Monday Night Raw for January the 30th, 2023, the Fallout show from the Royal Rumble. This was a pretty solid show. Nothing too major happened on the show, except for Cody challenging Roman Reigns, which we all knew, and Rhea Ripley challenging Charlotte Flair. Other than that, nothing else pretty much happened on the show. And Edge returned as well, so there's that. But we all knew Edge was going to return anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the review. We kick the show off with Cody Rhodes. So, Cody says jokingly to the fans, what do y'all want to talk about? He said there's always someone new watching this show. Rhodes says he's not the same person he was 15 years ago when he first started. Rhodes said he thought about him as being a 19-year-old putting up to a metal barn called Ohio Valley Wrestling. He said there was a sign that said, "Tomorrow Superstars Today." And then Rhodes said he was sitting in his old Volkswagen Jetta and remembers vividly thinking to himself that he would be WWE champion within 2 years. Rhodes said he was ambitious as well as delusional. Rhodes thought he'd be the next John Cena and that he would go back and talk to 19-year-old Cody. What would he say? He said it wasn't going to go down like that. Would he tell him that one night in London he got slapped so hard that his knees would buckle? Would he tell him that he would be dashing Cody Rhodes, giving grooming tips? Would he tell him that he would become the Intercontinental Champion and restore it to his former retro glory? Would he tell him that he painted his face and become less than? Would he tell him that the woman saying everyone's name all night would become his wife? Would he tell him that that he'd lose to a 295-pound best friend, but gain a 6'1" back? Would he tell him that he'd be on fire at one point and bleed all over the world, talking about his time in AEW? Would he tell him that in 2015 he would do what everyone tells him not to do and take on an excursion to look at the industry's health while neglecting his own? Would he tell him that in January 2023, he would outlast 29 other superstars in the Royal Rumble and be the first in the family to punch his ticket to WrestleMania? That was a fantastic promo. I love this. I love this promo. This promo was so emotional and so good. I am so glad that it's going to be Cody Reigns at WrestleMania. I am so glad. I cannot fucking wait for the promo battles that these two are going to have. It's going to be zinger after zinger. This is going to be really good shit. So Cody says he wouldn't tell 19-year-old him a single thing. Every piece on this broken road has become 100% unequivocal worth it. Rhodes says, Rhodes is out and listening to people sing his theme song. The first road on that track, wrestling has more than one royal family. He says, actually, WWE has more than one royal family. For that to be true, validated and vindicated in his heart, he has to stand across from the bloodline. The tribal chief, the head of the table. Rhodes said he has to stand across the man who's held the title for 800 plus days. He has to stand across the ring from Roman Reigns. Rhodes says he has a great deal of respect for Reigns, but he says that with the same sincerity. WrestleMania is 62 days away. It might just be the 62. That might just be 62 days to Reigns, but it's 62 days for the rest of Cody Rhodes' life. At WrestleMania, undesirable has already become undeniable remains uncrowned. But on that night, it ends. On WrestleMania, somebody's going to be eating. Somebody else is going to be eating. After WrestleMania, Reigns can return to the biggest superstar in the world. But one thing that Roman Reigns cannot be is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Then in comes the Judgment Day. So, Balor says he's a little confused. Rhodes is returning this time to do something original, or is he going to knock off his old stuff like he did before? Dom says that Cody ruined the Judgment Day's plan into the Royal Rumble. Mommy Rhea did what she was supposed to and won the Women's Royal Rumble. And then later on tonight, she's going to tell her say to her opponent will be at WrestleMania. Dom says he was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. Yeah, right. Yeah, Dom is such a fucking clown. Balor wonders what happened to Ray that led him not to come out. Dom says that Rhodes put his hands on him. Did he ruin his moment at the Rumble? If Rhodes did that in prison, he wouldn't be standing here right now. He would have got. Damian Priest says that that Dom will be the only multi-generational superstar in the WrestleMania main event, and not a suck-up like Rhodes. So, of course, Cody got handed the number 30. Rhea ran the gauntlet. Dom says Rhodes owes him an apology for ruining his moment. Cody says to him, that being Dom, that Rhodes doesn't want to piss him off, but Mysterio is trying to set him straight. This will be very different. So, Cody Rhodes then proceeds to mention royal families. He says Rhodes had respect for his father. Dom says he has no respect for his father, that being Rey Mysterio, and he has no respect for anyone's father there, especially Cody Rhodes' father. But then Rhodes says it's 60 days into WrestleMania. He thought he could play it safe and try to stay healthy, or he can do what he does and kick their ass. Any of the three will do. Let's do it tonight. So, there's that. But Edge shows up. And Edge attacks the Judgment Day along with Cody Rhodes joining in. And then the refs, they come in to break it up. That was really good shit right there. And there's going to be 3 elimination qualifier matches for the U.S. title. So, first match tonight, Seth Rollins versus Chad Gable. Seth Rollins, he qualifies. Moving on. Let's see. Moving on. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking at my notes. Well, somebody else's notes. All right. Next, we got Io Sky, who she defeated Dakota Kai. She defeated Candice LeRae via roll-up. So there's that. Who cares? There were a lot of picture-in-picture commercials in this. So, don't know why, but it was to promote Batista's new movie that comes out Friday. Who really cares, though? Moving on. So, Rhea Ripley, she's out next. So, Rhea says it's been a while since she's been out here without her Latino heat, that being Dom and her Judgment Day crew. But she really wanted the attention on her tonight to go. She disrupted the status quo. Rhea did the unthinkable and went the distance. She went from number 1 to outlast 29 other women to win the Royal Rumble match. So now she gets to choose whatever champion she wants at WrestleMania. So, Rhea then points to the WrestleMania sign. She said 3 years ago she had just turned 24, and her career is just getting started. And she was the NXT Women's Champion at the time. So, she came to Monday Night Raw, stood in the ring, and challenged Charlotte Flair. She challenged her to a match at WrestleMania. Flair put her in her place 3 years ago. The funny thing about Flair is that she's always somehow in the title picture. Flair is somehow always at the top of her game. So Rhea says she hates to give her credit, but she gets better every year. The normal flow in WWE is that Charlotte Flair is at the top, but she's the disruptor. She doesn't like the natural flow, the normal order, and the things get overplayed. So Rhea says, so Charlotte, I advise you to enjoy everyone rising and bowing down to the Queen because they're about to rise to Rhea Ripley. At WrestleMania, she put Charlotte Flair in her place. And Rhea looks at the camera and says, Charlotte Flair, I choose you. So, I'm actually fine with this. At first, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I really was. Like, I was appalled. But then again, I see why they're doing it, because they wanted to conclude that character arc / storyline from 3 years ago, because Rhea lost in the Performance Center at WrestleMania 36 during the pandemic. So I can see why they want to add finishing touches to that. And I also think the reason that Rhea is getting this is also not just because to tie up loose ends for her character, but really it's because they have no one of value on the Smackdown side of things for the women. They have nobody of value, and they don't have any star power. So they have no choice but to go with Rhea Ripley and switch her over to SmackDown, which actually makes the most sense. So there's that. I do think that we will get Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley probably either at Survivor Series later on this year or next year's WrestleMania. And people have to realize that that was essentially always the plan, to do Bianca and Rhea at some point down the line. Because people have to realize that that WWE is changing the way that they bring in their women. And when you first see women like Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez and Bianca Belair, you think of powerhouses, you think of Amazons. But all three women are, I believe, 6 feet or at least 6'1". And they're fairly young. I think Raquel may be in her early 30s. Bianca is either in her late 20s, early 30s, and Rhea is in her late 20s. So they're going younger. And those are the type of women that they're going to push, because all three in their own right and merit are marketable. They are. And you don't see women like that in the industry as much as you used to. You don't. Jordynne Grace, even her with Impact, she would do well in WWE as well, because most women aren't built like that. Most women are, short, skinny, stature, like Alexa Bliss and others. And so I do think that that's the reason why they chose Rhea to basically dethrone Charlotte and then to run back Bianca and Rhea. And I do expect Raquel Rodriguez or Asuka to be the one to face Bianca Belair. It makes the most sense. They may not even want to do Asuka. They may not even want to do Raquel, because Raquel, like Rhea, those are money matches. Raquel Rodriguez versus Bianca Belair, or Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. Those are money matches. They just are, because that's just the style that they're going for. It makes the most sense. So, there's that. Moving on. So Kathy Kelly, she's backstage. She's interviewing Seth Rollins. Rollins says, before we talk about the Elimination Chamber, then you talk about the crowd and want to fight against Chad Gable. So Rollins says he's going to the Elimination Chamber and beating five other guys. Then he'll get his U.S. title back. Then it's on to WrestleMania in Los Angeles. So Kathy Kelly mentions Logan Paul. And then Rollins, he chuckles a little bit. And he walks off without giving any comment. So, I'm kind of fine with that. We all know that's really what the Next big thing is going to be for him. Rollins and Paul would actually be great. I think that, Logan Paul does his best work as a heel. He really does. But, Logan Paul is a star for sure. He's a star. And that would make sense. That would be a really good work rate match I'm looking to see. So, I really would enjoy that. Next, second qualifying match. Johnny Gargano versus Baron Corbin. Gargano wins, so he's added into the chamber. Who cares? Enough said. The VIP lounge is next. So, MVP, he introduces Austin Theory. So, Austin Theory thanks MVP for inviting him to the show. So, Austin Theory says he used to watch the VIP lounge when he was little. So now he's sitting at the VIP lounge and MVP relevant again. Theory told MVP to get rid of the VIP lounge and to make it Austin Theory Live, ATL. So MVP says, hot trends come and go, but classics stay. MVP says, Theory isn't old enough to be a classic. MVP says that's Theory's catchphrase. It says Theory's catchphrase, but the crowd boos. So, MVP says he's the U.S. champion, that being Austin Theory. Austin Theory tells the crowd to shut up. And Theory says MVP is the same man that called Bobby Lashley the champ last week. He said Lashley would beat him. He says MVP knows that Lashley can beat him. Austin Theory says he's just messing with MVP. Let's talk about the Elimination Chamber. It's grueling. It's hard to survive, but he survived it. Theory says he was in the most grueling spot when Brock Lesnar gave him the F5 off the chamber. So Theory says he's still standing because he's ruthless. The new aggression needs. No one can stop him. MVP says he loves his confidence. So MVP says he was young. He was once a young and brash U.S. champion. He was in the Elimination Chamber, and The Undertaker threw him off. MVP says you'll never know who'll be in the chamber. Austin Theory says if that's a threat. Theory can't believe that he's comparing Lashley to The Undertaker. Same thing with me. I'm like, what the hell is MVP doing? Like, come on now. And I'm a big fan of both Lashley and Taker. Big fan of both of them. Theory says he's already beaten Lashley twice. The U.S. Championship will be defended in the Elimination Chamber, and Bobby won't be in it. So that's how about something else. That's not the past. MVP says he's no longer a business partner with Lashley, but he knows him. MVP is advising him for his health. Theory says MVP should be worried about his health as well as Bobby Lashley's. Lashley is MVP's meal ticket. That meal ticket will be chewed up by Brock Lesnar. So, basically, Lashley music hits. He comes out. Theory tells Lashley to listen to his pops, that being MVP. So, MVP lets Lashley by. So, Lashley attempts to attack Theory. He hits to hit a spear, but basically, Theory shoves MVP into Lashley. So, basically, accidentally, Lashley spears MVP. So, I like that. Really good heel tactics. Great way to get some heat on it. So, Byron Saxton, he's backstage with the Judgment Day. He's backstage with Balor. So, Byron Saxton asked Finn Balor about Edge. Balor says he thought Edge wouldn't have had enough, but apparently not. Balor says that he works on Mondays. Balor goes through his little hand signals and says the number 30 spot should have been his. Rhodes stealing from him. Rhodes has been stealing from him for years, and then he's going to get taxed. So, I like that. Next, Miz, he's out next. So, he starts to complain about not being in the spotlight for Raw 30. He said he was the first man in the Royal Rumble. The first man out of the Rumble. So Adam Pearce comes out and says, tell him to stop running out an opportunity. Someone has been knocking on his door all night for an opportunity. That man is the newest member of the Raw roster, Rick Boogs. So Rick Boogs comes out. He's back. I'm glad he's back. I fucking love Rick Boogs. Great guy. So Boogs destroys Miz in about maybe a minute and a half. So yeah. Then we get a recap of what happened with Sammy at the Rumble. Next, Bayley, she's out next. So she made 2 appearances in one night. So, there's that. So Bayley says she couldn't lead this building without talking about what happened at Raw 30. Bayley claims everyone's talking about her and Damage Control making history. They had a ton of confidence heading to the Royal Rumble and eliminated a lot of people. Her favorite was single-handedly eliminating Becky Lynch. Bayley says she's finished with Becky Lynch. The story is over. So Becky comes out. Becky calls Bayley a stupid fool. Becky says she's already won the Royal Rumble and didn't need to do it again. Bayley says that sounds like an excuse. Becky says an excuse is attacking her before a steel cage match or not facing her one-on-one. So people don't realize she's better. Bayley says she's not making excuses. She's smart. Becky says that Bayley should read a book or something. Lynch always makes everything about her. Becky says it's her birthday. Bayley says she doesn't give a damn. She's not one of those idiots and doesn't suck up to her. Bayley knows Becky and doesn't like Rebecca. Bayley thinks that Becky's overrated and she isn't good enough for all this. She's not good enough to be champion again or to be in the ring with Bayley one-on-one. She's not even that good for her husband. So she mentions Seth Rollins. The only reason he married her is that he knocked her up. I'm like, damn. So Lynch was like really pissed about this shit. So she said after all this time, they're fighting over wrestling. The animosity started 10 years ago back in NXT in Orlando. How about the NXT in Orlando next week where it all began? Lynch says she wants that steel cage match. Becky says she'll be right back and leaves. And then Bayley says she's probably going to look for more excuses, that being Becky Lynch. And then Bayley says she wants to get out of this crappy city. So basically, Becky drags out Dakota Kai. She threatens to hit her ankle, break her ankle. So Bayley pleads with Becky, and she said that she's going to accept the match, and that Bayley needs to go check on Io Sky. So I'm fine with this. It does make sense. So what more are you gonna do? I mean, we gotta do something, right? I mean, we're owed that match, so we're owed it, and we should have got it. All right. Kathy Kelly. She's with Adam Pearce. So, Pearce says he's got a few major announcements. Number one is that Becky and Bayley are going to be official for next week. And then, he also said it's going to be official that Rhea will face Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. But then he said who's going to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. 6 women are going to enter the Elimination Chamber. The winner will face Bianca at WrestleMania. He said so far we have 4 to qualify that were already the last 4 in the women's Royal Rumble. That being Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Liv Morgan, and Nikki Cross. And he mentioned that next week on Raw will determine one of the final two. It's going to be a fatal four-way. Piper Niven, Mia Yim, a.k.a. Michin, Candice LeRae, and Carmella. Then out of nowhere, Chelsea Green, for whatever stupid-ass reason, taps him on the shoulder and asks him if he's the manager. So she wanted to see why there were no accommodations made for her, and that not having any is just unacceptable. She then goes on to say she's not just any returning superstar. Where's her private dressing room, her water, and her Swiss chocolate? Britt said he's going to find her some chocolate. So I really don't know why the fuck Chelsea Green is on the main roster. I don't. Put her in NXT, for real. Nobody knows who you are. You've been gone for, what, basically 2+ years? No one knows who the fuck you are. Seriously. Dolph Ziggler versus Bronson Reed to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Bronson Reed wins via the splash. Really good stuff here. I like what they're doing with him. Kathy Kelly, she's backstage with Carmella. So, Carmella said she's back for the first time in 7 months. She said she'll earn her spot in the Elimination Chamber next week. So Asuka walks up, smiles, and she's got blue liquid falling out. And then out of nowhere, Carmella dips the fuck out. So I like that. I love what they're doing with Asuka. So Byron Saxton, he's backstage with the Street Profits and Rick Boogs. And he asked Rick Boogs how does it feel to win after being injured at WrestleMania last year. Boogs says he's fired up. He's fired up to be back. Elias says anyone can shred a guitar. All it takes is the skill of a true artist. Montez Ford says tells Elias not to be a hater, and that they're going to celebrate. So Byron mentions the Chamber and says that Angelo Dawkins will face Damian Priest in a qualifying match, while Montez Ford will face Elias. And I'm just like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. Why are we doing this? I'm guessing we'll probably have Damian Priest qualify, and then we'll probably have Montez Ford qualify. So I'm guessing that's probably what will happen, which actually makes the most sense. And then the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor, in a really good match here. Cody Rhodes wins via 3 crossroads. I'm like, damn. So there was Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty decent show. I enjoyed it. Cody being back makes the show feel a lot more special and a lot more worthwhile. I'm glad what they're doing with Rhea Ripley. I do expect her to be the one to dethrone Charlotte. And I wouldn't be shocked that at Survivor Series, we might go ahead and just unify the women's title into one, main title for the women. That's what I would do if I was booking things. I do think that we'll get Bianca versus Rhea probably at Survivor Series, and then to continue the feud around WrestleMania in 2024, WrestleMania 40. So that's probably what they're going to do. All in all, I liked the show, for the most part. It was pretty solid. Cody's promo, great. Rhea's promo, good. And the matches were okay. So, yeah, there's that. So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.